This movie is an Indian remake of Forrest Gump. This reimagining of the 1994 Hollywood classic is set in an Indian context and is indeed a Bollywood redo of the Tom Hanks film. The box of chocolate gets replaced by a box of Golgappas. A bench in the garden turns into a train seat. What remains the same is the story, characters, emotions, and the broad narrative. If you have seen Forrest Gump, you have a rough idea how the story of this movie goes. Audiences will know exactly what they're gonna get, as the film follows the majority of the same beats as the original movie, but with Indian cultural references. It's a feel-good film that doesn't say anything extraordinarily different or in an exceptional way that you stand up and applaud. This adaptation doesn't even try to introduce elements that would make it look somewhat different from the original. It's an underwhelming remake that has no real surprises and doesn't take any creative risk. It doesn't do enough to ground the story in an Indian context as well, except for the locations in India, Golgappa references, and the requisite musical numbers. There's very little that the movie does to bring some Indian cinematic flair to this story. It also fails in its effort to explore the recent history of India, as there's no nuanced understanding here, just dumbing down history for laughs. It's obvious that enough money was spent to make this movie has professional-looking cinematography, production design, and costume design befitting an epic saga. But somehow, the filmmakers forgot that truly successful remakes are well received by the audiences when the remakes bring some very unique and innovative changes without losing the essence of what the story is trying to say. Because of the similarity with the original, this movie can feel rather lackluster as it goes through the motions rather than carve out its own path. The movie is a plodding 159 minutes but feels like longer as it drags on for far too long. It's simply way too long and it becomes boring sooner than later. Some of the film editing is also sloppy. Parts of the movie abruptly shift to the next part of the story without much explanation. The movie has some tear-jerking moments in bombastic ways that seem overly manipulative. All of the tragedies in the main character's life are depicted with soap opera level acting. Aamir Khan's interpretation of the character also borders on parody. His constant mugging for the camera is too blatant in trying to get viewers to feel a certain way, instead of doing a performance that looks natural and effortless. His wide-eyed reactions and constant grunting are absolutely irritating after a while. It looks very fake and doesn't do the original classic movie any justice. Overall, with a few minor changes, this movie is such a hackneyed imitation of the story and structure of the Forrest Gump movie. It's boring and we don't think it's worth its 159 minutes runtime. We do not recommend this movie at all.